Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you may be. So let's talk about what happened this past week. Let's also talk about why Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong is selling right now and what we could look forward to. All right, let's get started. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media. Check out CryptosRUs.com. And make sure you follow my other channels as well, including my I Am George channel, which I posted a video to this morning. Good morning. Well, I can't say good morning. Good afternoon. Let's just say that. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. So let's look at what happened last week. Well, on Friday, we had a wild fake out. And I kind of warned you guys on Thursday, although Friday morning was still kind of good. So like Thursday after CPI data, the market rallied tremendously, right? And then on Friday, it looked like it was going to rally again. And then boom, it shifted downward. So we got a little bit of a fake out there. So overall, wasn't good. But what is good is despite the U.S. market falling and tanking, like for NASDAQ, for example, fell more than 3%, which is double of what the Dow fell down. But Bitcoin is still holding above 19,000. So that's positive. So even though Bitcoin did climb all the way, almost to 20,000, close, 19.9, right? It came back down, but now we're holding above to previous levels in 19,000. We didn't head back to 18,000. We didn't have a scary moment like this or anything like that. So it does seem like that was a little bit of a fake out and a little bit of manipulation, but now we're just back to the original levels. So overall, Bitcoin is still clinging on, and that's good. Now, can we expect more volatility? Well, yes. Yes, if we listen to Jamie Dimon, which most of us in crypto, we do not trust Jamie Dimon. We do not trust JP Morgan or banks or CEO of banks. But Jamie Dimon has been coming out a lot recently saying how, we're going to be in recession in 69 months, even though we are already in one. But also poking fun at Bitcoin once again, saying Bitcoin and all cryptos are giant Ponzi's. And he's causing more fear right now, saying that there will be other surprises, right? Especially since pensions in UK nearly imploded, and the Bank of England had to step in, and the finance minister has been fired. But he's been spreading a lot of FUD out there, definitely. But in this case, I don't disagree. There will be other surprises. There will be volatility. I don't think we're out of the woods, of course, because there are still so many things out there. But all this eventually is just going to turn more people to Bitcoin. More and more people are distrusting the banks and governments around the world and what these central bankers are doing. All this short term, yes, it sucks. Long term, just go turn more people to Bitcoin. Honestly. Credit Suisse, also another bank, a huge bank, second largest Swiss bank, is in talks with underwriters as to raise capital options because it's not looking good for them. They're out of money. They want to shore up their balance sheet, and they can't because they can't sell stock right now because their stock has tanked, I don't know how many percent this year. They lost a tremendous amount of money in 2021, which should not be the case. 2021, everything was going up, so you figure everyone should be making money. No, because Credit Suisse invested in some other companies that went down, lost billions upon billions. So now they're kind of in a situation where they're out of money. So Credit Suisse also in trouble. Again, as more people come to realize that the banks, the largest banks out there, they're supposed to know. They're supposed to know how to mitigate risk, and they're supposed to know what to do with money. Yet a lot of them are really struggling with both of those things. So again, I think people are starting to realize, hey, maybe I should manage my own money. Maybe I should be in control, not the banks that are starting to really struggle right now. All right, so want to lead off with those things. As for Bitcoin, well, the ones that do understand Bitcoin, they're going to stick with Bitcoin forever. Bill Miller, kind of late bloomer, I would say, to Bitcoin. Definitely a self-made billionaire that really believes in what Bitcoin's all about and considers it as an insurance policy against financial disaster. I don't disagree. And there's many others that feel the same way. Paul Dodor Jones feels the same way. Michael Saylor, of course, feels the same way. Tim Draper feels the same way. Robert Kiyosaki feels the same way. So many are turning to Bitcoin because they just really distrust the alternative, which is having cash inside banks. All right. And then as for some good things we could look forward to, here's a chart. Bitcoin's flag over flag configuration showing how oversold it is. And we may have found that turning point within the flag. And we may be forming the next leg up. So I've shown you guys a lot of these. There's a lot out there. There's a lot of models that show that Bitcoin is ready to pop. And it's just a matter of time. Here's another one where it's showing a double bottom and then the middle peak, right? Again, we formed that bottom, that double bottom. So are we going to go upwards as we head into November, December, Santa rally? Is it going to happen? Well, maybe there's a chance. And I'm still clinging on to that we will get back up to 30,000 at least by the end of the year. So we'll see if that's true or not. Here's an interesting look at Bitcoin versus the DXY. So this is why I focus on the DXY, the strength of the dollar, so much. Whenever you have DXY go down, money comes out of dollars into equities and Bitcoin. You can see clearly in 2021, it definitely helped Bitcoin in a big way. That is why it sucks whenever we see DXY going up, because it literally sucks the money out of everything else, right? So that's why we do want to see DXY go down. But unfortunately, with what's going on in the UK, in Europe, in Japan, and around the world, you know, the mess in these other countries are propping up the dollar, which, of course, is not good for Bitcoin right now. But we will see. DXY has been going up for a long time. Maybe it will start cooling off. All right, so that is for Bitcoin. Positive things for Polygon. I'm very pro Polygon. You guys know that. Polygon hits a new milestone. Active users doubled to close to 6 million. That's despite right now. So think about that. Think about how low things are right now. So many people have left the space, yet the active users have doubled. Imagine when the rally starts, when the next bull trend starts, how many people are going to come to Polygon, right? So they are in a very good shape. I didn't know this, but KuCoin just announced their own wallet, and they are partnering up with Polygon, right? All these new wallet makers that are coming out, partnering up with Polygon, and why would you not? And there's a ton of brands like Starbucks, Adobe, Facebook, even Robinhood. I mentioned about their custodial wallet, right? Partnered up. eBay, everyone is partnered up with Polygon. Instagram is as well. So Polygon is looking like they're in real good shape. And they're creeping up to top 10. And when the bull market starts again, they can certainly creep up to top 5. So big fan of Polygon. Let's see. Mango. They were hacked for $113 million. Now they're agreeing to pay almost half to the hacker and agreeing not to take legal action or file a claim with the authorities, right? So they're basically losing $47 million, and that sucks. And I don't know how they're going to pay that back. So again, unfortunately, with a lot of these projects, they're still very young. Security is not their forte, and unfortunately, a lot of stuff like this still happens. So again, even with DeFi, you got to be careful with where you put your money and be careful with the projects you invest in. And then let's see, of course, the big topic, why is Coinbase CEO selling right now? Well, a lot of people did not like this, but Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong reported that he wants to sell 2% of his company's stake, which is actually quite a lot. 2% doesn't sound like a lot, but he owns a ton of Coinbase. So people are wondering, why is he doing that right now? We know Cathie Wood did it for the wrong reasons. Cathie Wood sold Coinbase and bought Shopify, and she lost a tremendous amount of money by doing that. Had she just held on to Coinbase, she would still be up versus being down like 30%. So Cathie Wood has not been doing good with her calls right now. But Brian Armstrong is doing it for different reasons. He says he wants to fund companies like New Limit and Research Hub. Basically, he needs some money, and he wants to invest in other companies that he believes in and other crypto companies to help spur innovation. Basically, he claims he's doing it for good reasons. And there's no reason to think he's not doing it for good reasons. He's selling 2%, not like 20%. And he says he plans on being the CEO of the exchange for a very long time. Now, that I don't know if is a good thing. You know, he's a young guy. Of course, he got to Coinbase to where it is today, and that's very, very impressive. But it does seem like Coinbase is definitely struggling right now against the big dogs like Binance. You could even say FTX, although FTX is not a big dog, but in terms of trading volume, I think they have surpassed Coinbase as well. So Coinbase, once upon a time, was the biggest exchange until Binance surpassed them in a big way. So right now, Coinbase is kind of struggling under a lot of scrutiny as well. Does not offer free Bitcoin trading like some of the other guys, and their stock has been pummeled by Wall Street, right? So I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be the CEO of the exchange for a long time. I guess we'll see. Now, speaking of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried said it was stupid that before he said he would spend up to $1 billion in the 2024 elections. Many people already speculate that Sam Bankman-Fried has his own agenda in terms of who he wants to win the next election and how that's going to help FTX. And you know, there's a lot of speculation out there. But now he's backtracking a little bit, saying, okay, that was stupid. I didn't mean that, right? Maybe he's taking on too much heat. We know FTX is trying to buy everything right now. He's trying to be BlackRock of crypto. So maybe he's trying to divert some of the attention away from himself. But, you know, who knows? Who knows how much he's going to be spending, and who knows where he's getting all this money from. I still, you know, FTX, as big as they are, they're still nothing compared to, say, Binance. So I still don't know where they get their money from. All right, but that's it. Overall, like I said, Bitcoin was holding decently well despite the market sell-off. The entire crypto cap really didn't move since yesterday, so that overall, that's pretty positive. Bitcoin dominance came down a slightly, but you know what? Let's just do Q&A. When 24-hour stream challenge, I have tried that once before. It failed miserably, so no, I don't think that's a good idea. I tried that once. I forgot when, 2019 or something, and I kept the stream on for like 3 hours, and then people just gradually dropped off, got bored, and there was nothing. So what do you think about decentralized social DESO? To be honest, I don't think much of it. And decentralized social has been tried and tried and tried over the years. All have failed miserably. Because honestly, you know, this whole notion of, oh, you get to control your own pictures and your own videos and all that stuff, right? Where, you know, Facebook or Instagram doesn't own it and they can't censor it and stuff like that. It sounds good in theory, but in reality, no one cares. No one really cares about those things. So many decentralized social projects have come out, big ones that people or big projects have really put a lot of money in, and every single one failed, and no one uses them. So that's why I'm not really interested in it. One day, someone will come out with something better, but right now, it's too early to make that call. Izzy says, capitulation is coming, George. You know it when it happens. I don't know. I argue it already happened. So I don't know if that's the case. I argue if you look at the metrics, there are no new retail investors in the space anymore. It's all long-term holders. Anyone that entered within the last year has pretty much left. So I don't know. I think capitulation may be here already. The history charts are whack. With economic condition we are in, seeing some crazy numbers like 1970 recession and 08 crash. More pain is coming. 2024 before having. I agree with you and I disagree with you. Because we can't compare our recent recession with previous recessions because they're not comparable. And our current time right now, despite how bad it sounds like it is, there are still a lot of good economic data. So we're still seeing unemployment low. We're still seeing jobs hiring. We're not seeing massive layoffs. We're not hearing about big companies laying off like 30% of the workforce. Stuff like that has happened already, especially with crypto companies. But we may hear about hiring freezes and stuff like that, but it's not nearly as bad as, say, 2008 or 2000 and some of these previous corrections. So yes, we can throw pretty much what has happened before out the window, but doesn't mean that we're in a really dire situation. Now, we could be facing that in the future. We could be seeing more surprises, like Jamie Dimon says, and who knows, if Fed goes crazy, if Powell goes crazy and keeps raising rates to unsustainable levels, then yeah, we could get to a much worse condition, I guess. But we're not quite there yet. What happens if the dollar crashes? Well, whenever DXY goes down, like this, Bitcoin goes up. So, yeah. If you're saying if dollar crashes completely and gets replaced by something else, well, then we got bigger problems. I don't know when that's going to happen, if ever. Jeff, appreciate your support. Franco, did you consider a panic room or nuclear shelter for your new house? No, both of them have not ever crossed my mind. And yes, they would be probably way too expensive. A nuclear shelter doesn't do anything. Just because you survived initial blast, how do you go survive the months and months and months and years of radiation? Nuclear shelter makes no sense unless you have a sustainable environment where you have very biohazard like air filters and you have unlimited supply of food and water. Being stuck in a bunker while the whole world around you has been destroyed does nothing. So you might as well just be killed in the initial blast, right? So that's why a nuclear bunker doesn't make much sense. Now, if you're the president and you have a really nice nuclear bunker, maybe, but still, you'll be stuck in that bunker for the rest of your life. Plant potatoes on a basketball court. Yeah, if it comes to it, I guess. If you could do it on Mars, like what Matt Damon showed in his movie, then I guess you could plant that anywhere. Hey, is the problem with that it takes one bad event like Credit Suisse going down or anything else bad that can drop Bitcoin to 12,000 or the Dow? I mean, it could. We could have a cascading effect. I think some people start looking at how Credit Suisse is connected with other banks. I'm pretty sure people are looking at that really hard right now. If they go under, can it cause a effect like 2008 where everyone's still going under? Hopefully not, because the banks are, for most part, from what I hear, banks are flush with cash from 2021. They were able to borrow unlimitedly from the Fed at near zero interest, and they kept all the deposits. People that deposit money, they didn't loan those out. So banks, for the most part, are really flush with cash. But guys like Credit Suisse, they don't have cash because they lost it with very bad investments. That's why they're a little bit different. So I'm thinking it's not going to be a 2008 moment where if they crash, a lot of others will. But I guess we'll see. But I'm pretty sure a lot of banks are trying to prepare right now. People's money are not safe in banks from government. Well, that is true. That is true. Unfortunately, we have to live with these banks because we do all of our payments and, deposits and everything are in banks. But it's changing slowly. A lot of companies are giving an option where you get paid in Bitcoin, right? And now we have Bitcoin credit cards and debit cards. And then you could also spend Bitcoin with Strike app and others, right? It's starting to turn. It's just very slow. But one day you won't need to cash out of Bitcoin and crypto. You just pay in crypto, right? You may not want to do that now while things are low, but when one day things are much higher, why would you ever want to cash out? You just spend it if you need to. What do you think about taxing unrealized gains? I think it's a stupid idea. I just don't like it. I think taxing unrealized gains is horrible because you never know what may happen. There may be a ton of gains, but then all of a sudden you lose that unrealized gains because the market crashes. But then you're footing the huge tax bill, right? So, not really a fan of this notion that, start taxing unrealized gains. So, and here's the thing. If they implement taxing unrealized gains, or they go realize that deducting unrealized losses too, I bet they're not going to do that. Right now, it's so unfair. If you have losses that you want to deduct, you can only go up to 3,000. But if you have gains, the tax is unlimited. So if you look at it from that perspective, it's not really fair at all. Kim, can we compare this cycle to previous cycles in light of macroeconomics and institutional adoption? Could that shorten the cycle? Yes. I mean, we didn't have a blow-off top. So there are similarities, but also differences. Like, for example, in 2021, we didn't really have a blow-off top. A lot of people, including myself, we thought December we were going to get a huge blow-off top above 100,000 and come back down. We didn't. Things started coming down in November already, and we peaked in November. So a little bit different. And of course, if you look at where we are now versus previous cycles, we're actually holding a lot better too. We're at a much higher level, a much higher price, but we're also holding better. Previous cycles, Bitcoin went down like 85%. This cycle, we're down about 75%. So, there is a difference. But there's also similarities. So if the similarities stay true, that means in 2024, when we have the next halving event, things will really start coming up again, just like what happened with the previous halving event, which happened in 2020, right? So can we see something like that? Yes. But you know, macro stuff, Bitcoin has never gone through because Bitcoin was created after the last recession. So Bitcoin was created in 2009, really got popular in around 2011 when things were coming up. So we're going through a period that Bitcoin has never gone through before. But I would argue it's holding up really well despite all the bad things that's happening. Emery, I'm not sure what you're saying. So, I mean, capital gains and capital losses, like when I say deductions, I mean, it's really like taking away from your capital gains, right? So, your capital losses can only be up to 3,000 per year, and then it rolls over. So let's say you lost 10,000 in crypto. 3,000 can be used to could count as capital loss, so it could be deducted basically from your income of that year, and the remaining 7,000 will be like 3,000 next year, and then the remaining amount the year after that. So you can only take 3,000 per year. But obviously, if you have more, I don't know, you have stocks that gained or something like that, it can offset that completely. So that's how you look at it. Not a big fan of Veracity. You know, just not a fan. I think they're just too early. They were very hyped up for their patent on counting real views or something like that, and they got into esports. They have like an embedded window that you can use and stuff like that, but you know, just not that interesting to me. Moonbeam or Optimism, they're both good. Moonbeam is within Polkadot. Optimism is kind of by itself. Long term, I think Moonbeam has more of a future. Optimism is a layer 2 that works by itself right now. But layer 2, EVM compatible layer 2s, it's almost like a dime a dozen, but there's a lot of good ones, standout ones. Moonbeam, I like them better because they're like the EVM compatible chain within Polkadot, so they will have a lot more use as Polkadot gets bigger. So I think short term right now you can't go wrong with either, but I think Moonbeam will probably have a higher upside down the road. All right, for those of you guys that tuned in late, this is why Coinbase CEO wants to sell. Basically, he wants that money to invest in other things, other crypto projects, up-and-coming projects. So that's his reasoning. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. I think so because it's only 2% of his company, not like 20% of his company. But anyway, selling right now, I think selling anything right now is just a mistake, I think. It doesn't matter what you have. It's just everything's so low, and we're so low. I mean, we're much closer to the bottom than we are to the top, for sure. So selling anything right now just seems like a bad idea. But again, if you need it, if you must have it, then I guess that's a better option. All right, guys, let's conclude. Overall, I think despite what happened on Friday, that massive down for U.S. markets, that basically we got faked out, a huge fake out. Bitcoin and crypto is still holding pretty well afterwards and today too. So I say that's pretty encouraging. As more people learn about what's happening around the world and banks, more and more people are going to turn to Bitcoin. So stay strong, my friends. Have patience. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same time, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And go check out my other channels as well. Some great content there too. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Daniel, thank you for that super chat. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.